So for today, concentrate about the analytical geometry and specifically we'll do what we call the hyperbolas. So hyperbolas is the one that we do for today. Now the first thing that we need to know is to define what a hyperbola is or what is hyperbolas. So the hyperbola is the locus of a point in a plane such that for any point of the locus, difference of the distance from the fixed point, the fork, is a constant. Then central hyperbolas have their center at the origin, vertices, forces lie on one axis, and asymmetry with respect to the other axis. So this is what we call hyperbolas. So in hyperbolas, it's quite similar with the ellipse, but this one is quite different. Because why is different? Because this one has the negative, which is the hyperbolas, but when we talk about the ellipse, has the positive. Both of them has the positive. So let's first write what we call the standard equation of what? Hyperbolas. So the standard equation of hyperbolas is this: when you're having 0, 0, if you're just having 0, 0, meaning that your standard equation is x squared over sorry, it's not supposed to be like that. X squared over a squared minus, here is a minus, then y squared over b squared equal to 1. Or sometimes it can be the y-axis, so it would be y squared over what? Over a squared minus x squared over b squared equal to 1. So this is your standard form of the hyperbolas. This is the standard form of what we call hyperbolas, right? Now these are the standard form of hyperbolas if the center is 0, 0. So these are the main things that you need what? To take note of. Now the other thing that you need to take note of is this one. If we are having the hyperbolas, or the things that we consider when you're drawing the hyperbolas, I'll say consider, right? The first thing is what we call the vertices, right? So instead of me just be writing, but I can also be explaining on how you can come up with something that is very simple, right? So on something that is what? Very, very simple. So what you need to take note of is this. We're having the equation on top here, which is what? X squared over y squared. X squared over a short a squared, then minus y squared over b squared equal to 1. Then the other thing is what? Y squared over a, then minus x squared over b squared equal to 1, like that, right? So these are your hyperbolas, right? So let's take note on the things that you need to consider when you're dealing with these things, right? Let's come up with all the things that we need to consider when we are writing all this stuff, right? Now, here we have what we call the vertices, and most of the time they're represented by V, like that, right? So they're represented by V most of the time. Now, the vertices in this situation, which is x squared over a, then equal to y squared over b squared equal to 1. So the vertices, they go with the a, right? So in this situation, your a, this is your a, right? It is in the x-axis on top. When you check on top, it is under x-axis, such that you're gonna have what? Positive or minus what? A comma 0. So this happens when the center is 0 comma 0, and when the center is 0 comma 0, just know that the standard equation of your hyperbolas will be x squared over a minus y squared over b squared equal to 1. So this means that center is 0 comma 0. So how about the center this side again? It's also 0 comma 0, right? So those are the main things that you need to take note of. How about the b in this situation? The b in this situation will be, if you look at this, right? The b, if you look at this, the b, it is under what? It's under y-axis. So meaning that will be 0 comma, that is positive or minus what? B, like that. How about this side? Where is your a? Your a, when you check here, your a is down here, but here it's on top, it's under y-axis. So meaning that your vertices in this part will be 0 comma positive or minus what? A. Then your b in this situation will be what? If you look at your b, this is your what? This is your b, and your b is in the what? Y-axis, so it will be positive or minus what? B comma 0, like that. So this is how you write your what? Your vertices. Then the next one is to write what we call the what? Focus. So the focus, it follows the vertices, right? The focus, most of the time, it follows the vertices. So how do you write the focus? So if you check out your a, it is in the x-axis, so meaning that it will be positive or minus c comma 0, right? How about this side? Your a, it is in the y-axis, so it will be, the focus will be 0 comma positive or minus what? C, like that, just like that. Then the next thing that you need to take note of is what we call the diatrix. So in this part, your diatrix is in this part. So if you check out, where is your a? Your a, it is moving in the, your a is moving in the what? In the x-axis, such that it will be x equal to positive or minus a squared over what? C. How about this side? Your 8 is in the y, so it will be y equal to positive or minus what? Positive or minus what? A squared over c, that. So that's how you write that one. And then the next thing is what we call the what? The next thing is what we call the equation of asymptote, right? Or in short, I can say equation of asymptote, the equation of asymptote. So in this situation, the equation of the asymptote, how you identify. So for me, to make things simpler, if your y is negative, if your y is negative, meaning that your equation of asymptote will be y equal to b, put b on top. If your y is negative, so put b on top over a, then x. On this part, if your x is negative, so if you check there, your x is negative here, right? If you check, this is negative what? X squared over that. So meaning that in this part to be y equal to, you have to put a on top. So to a over what? B x, like that. So that's how you come up with these formulas. Then the other thing that you need to take note of when you're dealing with the hyperbola is what we call the 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 equation of conjugate and transverse. So the equation of conjugate and transverse. So here you have v then prime equal to 2a. Then again here it's what? V, or here suppose the other one is supposed to be b prime equal to what? To 2b. Even this side again, bv, here there is nothing that changes. Okay, bb prime equal to 2b. Then centricity, it still remains to be e equal to what? A here, right? E is equal to c on top over a. That's centricity. So the c over what? A still remains to be the same. Then the next one is what we call, how do we find c? So in hyperbola, we can calculate the value of c. C squared equal to a squared minus b. Then even this side, c squared is equal to a squared or minus b. So this is how you solve the hyperbola. So when you have this type of an idea, it is be very simple or very straightforward for you to answer any type of the question that you may do like. Then the other thing is the drawing. So let's look at how all these drawings they look like, right? In hyperbola. The drawing. So if you're having the equations like the one that we're having there, that is your a squared minus, remember that here a we get the positive number, that's your a. So make sure that your a is positive. We don't, even if your a is smaller than the other one, but make sure it's positive. That's what we consider here. Don't consider don't consider the bigger number, but here we consider the one which is what? Positive. So in this situation, the vertices, what your vertices in this situation? It is in the x-axis, so it will be positive or minus a, comma 0. Remember, this is your center in this situation is 0, 0, like that, right? So that's your vertices. Then your focus in this situation, positive or minus c, comma 0. Then what else that we need? It's the directrix is x equal to x, that is a squared over c. Then what else that we require here? The other thing that we require in this situation is what we call the equation of the asymptote. So the equation of the asymptote, y is y is negative, meaning that it will be b on top, positive or minus b on top over a x. How about this side? The vertices a to be in the y-axis, then the focus it will c to be in the y-axis, then the directrix it will be y equal to positive or minus a squared over what? C, like that, right? Then your equation of the asymptote is y equal to x is negative, so it means that it will be positive or minus, that is a here over b x, like that, right? So after coming up with everything like that, right, that's where now your draw start. Let's draw like that, right? Now let's draw. When you look at this hyperbola, is it in the x-axis or in the y-axis? Where is your a? Your a is in the x-axis, so meaning that it will stretch more in the what? X-axis. So this is your vertex. So it will be negative a comma 0, and the other one, what's your vertex? Is this part, right? So meaning that it will be positive a comma 0. Then what is your y? Your b is a situation. The b in this situation is what? Oh, we didn't write the b. So the b it will be in the y-axis, so it will be 0 comma positive or minus b. So this side that is your b. This is your b that you are seeing here, 0 comma positive or minus what? Minus, oh, that is positive, right? B. Then this is your b again, that is 0 comma positive b, like that, right? From there now you draw your simple box that is straight. Just draw a straight box, the one that you have taken, right? Draw a simple box like that, right? So after drawing your simple box, what do? We draw what we call the line of the asymptote, right? Let's draw the line of the asymptote in this situation. So to pass through here. So that's where the line of asymptote pass through, right? So pass through here. That's right. Then the other one to pass through here. That. Then from there now, let's also draw what we call our directrix. Our directrix is that. So our directrix will cut to this part here. I can say it will cut to this part. This part is here. That's where it will cut. To cut this part here again. Like that, right? Now, where is your focus in this situation? Your focus in this situation is somewhere, right? Again, your focus this situation will be somewhere. So this is your focus 1, and this is your focus what? Focus 2. So the way it will be in this part, it will be like this. Since it is in the x-axis, meaning that it will come from this side, like this, it will come from this side, and it will pass through where there is the, and it will pass through where there is the what? Where there is the vertex, like that, right? Even this side again, it will do the same thing. To come from this side here, to pass here, to pass to pass here where there is a vertex, like that. So that's how you draw that. Now let's go to this one. How do we also draw this one? We also draw this one just the same like the way we draw this one, right? But there is a bit different. So in this situation, your vertex are in the what? Y-axis. So meaning that is your V1. And what's your V2? Your V2 again, this is your V2. What is your B? So B here it is in the x-axis. You forget to put that B. So it's somewhere here. Alright? So that is B1 and that is what? 2. So in this situation, you draw a box. That right? After drawing the box, make sure your box is straight. I know you guys, you can draw better than me. Very well. You can draw it very better. Very much better. Supposed to be straight like that, right? Then you draw your what? Draw your that. And the next one also draw. Then let's also point out our directrix, right? So our directrix here, it will cut to this point like that. That's how our directrix will look like. This is your directrix, right? Now let's draw the parabolas, right? Remember that your focus is this side. Let's focus 1. Again, this is focus 2. That. Now let's draw our parabolas. It will come from this side there. You need to pass through the vertex like that. It will pass through this side, right? And again, to pass through the vertex there. Like this. So this is how you draw when it comes to hyperbola, right? Now let's go to the same thing, but here we'll go into a bit detail because our center won't be 0, 0. Now let's do something that is having the center which is not 0, 0, but our center now is C, what, H, right? So your center in this situation it is H, K. Even this side is H, K. Now let's come up with all the formulas, right? If you have, meaning that even your standard equation in this part, it will be x minus h and you square plus y minus k squared over a squared over b squared equal to 1. So don't worry, I've forgotten one thing there, right? It's the, so here let's put a negative. Then the other one it will be what? Y minus k square over a squared minus x minus h squared over what? B equal to 1. Like that, right? So this is your hyperbola. The first one, the first one, where is your a? First one, your a is, where is your a? It is in the x-axis. So meaning that the vertices in this part, it will be, it is in the x-axis, right? So it will be h positive or minus what? A. Then your b it is in the y-axis, so it will be h comma and k there, positive or minus what, b, like that, right? Then the next thing that you need to take note of is what we call your what, your directrix or your focus. Let's write the focus first. So now the focus in this part, it will follow the A, where A is, right? Where A is. So where A is. So your A is in the x-axis. So it means that would be H positive or minus C, like that. And this side is what? K. This is your P, sorry. Your directrix, it will start with x equal to plus or minus what? A squared over C. Everything remains to be, not everything. The last one that remains changes is this one. So your what is negative, one is negative in this expression is y. So meaning that the equation of the asymptote, it will be y minus, it will be the equation of asymptote to y minus what? Y minus k equal to b over a, that's positive that, then x minus what? H, like that. Then everything remains to be the same. These equations, everything remains to be the same, and E there, which is C over A, everything remains to be the same. Now, what else that we can solve? The other one that we can solve with, see, this part, it is your A, it is in the y-axis, so mean that will be H here, comma, and K plus or minus A. Then your B here, it is what? H positive or minus what? A, comma K, like that, right? How about the focus? The focus, it remains the same with the vertices, right? So meaning there to be K plus or minus what? C. Then your directrix will start with y. Y equal to positive or minus what? A squared over C. Then your equation is asymptote, it will be y equal to y minus K. Which one is negative? Is x-axis, so meaning that it will be A here on top over B down. So it is x minus h, right? Then v1 to A, then b1. So centricity in this part is C over A. So this is the summary of everything that you can find in what? Hyperbola. Now let's also look at the examples in the next video. So you will look at the examples in the next video. For now, we can end from here. Make sure you share